What's up, y'all? How are you doing? It's been a minute. We're back to the Person Who podcast. I'm so excited to get to sit down and chat today. It's been a little over a month, and let me tell you, a lot has happened in a month span. Let's see. The first thing that happened is, let me just be real. I've been blessed to not experience a ton of sickness in my life. And about a month ago, I got hit with COVID, and it was not good. I thought it was over. I have not been that sick in a long time. My fever was like 104. My whole body was hurting. I couldn't taste anything. It was terrible. I was so sad. I was down for probably like 4 days. It was the worst. I do not recommend. Don't get COVID. Wash your hands, drink water, whatever. It was terrible, right? What else has happened? Let's see. There was Easter. That was beautiful. It was such a great Sunday. If you don't know, I get the wonderful opportunity to serve at a church in Arlington, Texas, More Church. I get to work in our next gen department. I work with kids and with youth, and it was the best. So Easter was so much fun. And then it was actually my husband's birthday last Monday, and my sister-in-law graduated, and we went to Disney, and it was just the best. And so I'm just going to plug it real quick. If you are planning a Disney trip and you need like a trip advisor, or you need someone to go and take pictures for your family, or you need someone to show you where the best coffee is in Disney, or you just don't want to go by yourself, I volunteer. I'll go with you. Disney is the most magical place on earth. It's like you're a kid when you're there, and I'm a proud Disney adult, like loud and proud. I don't even care. I love Disney. It was so much fun, and we actually got to go to Universal's new park, which is called Epic Universe, and that was actually super fun. The details are crazy. Like every time, I've been twice, I go to Disney or Universal, I am blown away by their details. It is so cool. Literally at Universal Epic, you like walk through a portal, and it's like you're fully immersed in that world, whatever it is. So my favorite one at Epic Universe was probably Mario World, because that was just crazy. The details in that were wild. It was insane. I had been seeing all kinds of videos on TikTok, but that does not do it justice. When we walked in there, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm in Bowser's Castle right now. This is crazy. It was so much fun. And I'm also proud to say I am no longer scared of any kind of thrill roller coaster ride. I am not scared. There was this one ride at Epic, and it was called Stardust Coaster, Stardust Racer. I don't remember what it was called. And that was the scariest ride I've ever rode. It was upside down. It was tall. It was winding. We were spinning. We were going fast. There's like one point where you go up this hill, and you're going super fast up the hill to then go down. And I had this brief thought in my mind, if this latch, mind you, I'm covered by one latch. If this latch like defaults, I'm done. It's over. But it was so much fun. We rode it like 4 times, so I feel like I'm a pro now. So it was great. But all that being said, a lot of life has happened. It's been good. It's been fun. But I have missed sitting down and getting to talk and chat with you guys. I'm really excited, but I say that every time. Ooh, I'm excited about this episode. I was talking to Easton before we started filming. It's so funny to me because I feel like the Lord walks me through things. And I'm like in the trenches, or like in the trenches of my mind for like a month or 2 months or a couple of weeks, like figuring it out, trying to do it by myself like we all do, right? The Lord teaching me things, and then I'm on the other side, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to share this. I have to sit down and share this, because if I can just help one person, then it's worth it, right? But like the Bible says, we overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the power of our testimony. And yes, it's the testimony of pre-Jesus Brady, post-Jesus Brady, but it's also the testimonies of every single different month and week and moment in my life of what God is doing and what God is teaching me. And I really believe over the past, gosh, it's probably been like 2 months now, God has really highlighted this theme, this topic that we're going to talk about today in my life, just like the importance of it. So today we're going to talk to the person who needs to guard your wells. And that may sound really weird, like Brady, a well, like a well that you put water down and bring it back up, but we're going to get to it. So hang with me. A little bit of a backstory. I started an internship at More Church, which was Living Church when I originally started it back in 2020. And I remember when Pastor Witt walked through the door of the internship meeting, we kind of went through the church values. That was like our first internship meeting. And I remember her drilling into us like, hey, we're going to learn all kinds of things throughout this internship. But the main thing I want you to take away is this Proverbs. It's Proverbs 4:23. It says, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. And I mean, her and Pastor Tristan, I would hear it all of the time, drilling it in. Above all else, make sure you're guarding your heart. Are you guarding your heart? Is your heart guarded? Are you guarding your heart? And for a long time, it was like background noise in my life, if I'm being honest, because I was like, dude, that's fine. I can do that. I can guard my heart. It's no big deal. Like, it doesn't matter, right? Like, whatever. But man, over the past 2 months, the Lord has really highlighted and shown me, like, if you do not guard your wells and if you do not take it seriously, it can take seconds for your eyes, your ears, your tongue, like everything to be twisted, and you completely cannot see the goodness or the fruit of the Lord, what he's doing in your life, the blessing. Situations will be twisted in your head. Friendships, relationships will be twisted in your head. Like, it is so crazy what happens. And I'm using this term well, like, Brady, what are you talking about? Well, like guard your wells. What are you even saying, right? To me, wells are like your eyes, your ears, your mouth, your heart. Whatever you let in to your life is crucial. If you're not guarding yourself well, whatever comes in can affect what comes out. And my dad used to say all the time, and I used to get so annoyed with him because he would say it all the time. But now I'm like, that's good wisdom. He would say, Brady, junk in, junk out. He could always tell. If my attitude was a little bit bad growing up, if I was popping off at mom or my siblings, if I was saying things I shouldn't say, if I was acting a way that I shouldn't act, he would just pull me aside and he'd say, hey, remember, junk in, junk out. Have you been letting some junk in your life? What's going on? And I'm so appreciative of that now, but like back then when I was a teenager, I was like, okay, Dad, whatever, like, okay, right? But it's so true. What you let into your life, what you let into your wells is so crucial. It matters so much because it can affect you more than you even realize, right? Like, there's another verse in the Bible. Let me make sure I got it right. It's in Jeremiah 17, verse 9, and it talks about how your heart is deceitful. Your heart can be deceitful. And so what you let into your heart is super crucial, and it's super important. The words that you let in, the people that you let in, the relationships that you let in, right? The things that you watch, the things that you even say, the thoughts that you let go around in your mind for too long. Like, everything is so crucial. And the Lord has really just been highlighting it to me. Because I wasn't guarding my wells very well for the past couple of months. And I didn't think it was a big deal until I finally sat down and I was like face to face with God. And I was like, dude, something is off. Something is off in me. I'm not happy. I can't find joy. I'm offended, right? Like, I'm offended by the smallest things. I'm frustrated by these people who I really love in my life. Like, what is happening, God? I don't understand. And he so kindly, as he does, was like, are you guarding your heart? Like, what are you letting in? What are you letting? And for me, it wasn't much as like what I'm watching, what I'm listening to, but more so, and kind of what I want to like focus on today. It was the thoughts that I was letting sit idle and sit dormant in my mind, that I didn't think was a very big deal, that I didn't think needed to be pulled out and brought into the light, right? I was like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just an insecurity. Like, it's not a big deal. I'm just a little jealous. Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm just comparing myself a little bit, right? Like, nobody's actually hearing what's going on in my mind. It's not a big deal. But then I do that for 2-3 weeks, and I turn around and I'm like, oh, my heart is ugly now. Like, my thoughts are ugly. My mind is not a good place to be. My heart is not as pure as I want it to be. I've let some things into my wells that I need to draw out, right? The Bible says we draw things out into the light and it loses its power. And for me, I had not been drawing stuff out into the light. Like, I had just been letting things sit and grow and fester. And it was not good. It was not kind things, right? I was not acting like myself, because what's true is when you don't guard your wells very well, that's funny. When you don't guard your wells, right? Things start to come in and your character can shift like that. The way you respond, the way that you treat people, the way that you see others, like, it can shift so quickly if you just think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's just a thought. Oh, it's not a big deal. Like, it's okay. I can watch one more show. It's okay. I can listen to this song a few more times, right? But what we're putting into our wells matters so much, because our wells can get tainted so quickly. Like, so quickly. I'm talking like this was years ago. It was literally a couple of weeks and my well was completely tainted. And it's so crazy. And you're like, Brady, you're being dramatic. I am dramatic, but I'm not being dramatic about this, because it's so important to guard your heart, your mind, your eyes, your ears. And I don't mean guard as in put up walls and take account. Well, I don't mean like put up walls and be like, oh, you can't get near me. Oh, no. Not to be defensive, not to like push people away, but just to take account of what's coming in, of like, oh, this is a weird thought that I had. Maybe I should ask myself, where did that thought come from? Why did I have that thought? What spurred that thought? Like, why am I thinking this? Why am I letting this stay in my mind? Why have I not reached out to my friend and talked to her about this, right? To just take account of what comes in, because what comes in is going to affect what comes out. And the reason why I'm so passionate, I guess is the word, about the whole idea of guarding your wells, guarding your eyes, guarding your ears, guarding your heart, right, is because for me, when I didn't guard what was coming into my life very well, the thoughts, the feelings, the words, right, it led me to isolate myself. And can I tell you, isolation is your greatest enemy. A lot of people feel like isolation is like, oh, what is it? I'm an introverted extrovert. I need to just go and be by myself and recharge. But for me, isolation became a thing where I was sitting by myself and I was letting thoughts and I was letting feelings just run around and create these storms and these scenarios in my mind that weren't true. Like, the narrative was being so switched, all because I was not guarding what was in my heart. And I was like, Brady, we could have solved this a long time ago had we just number one, guarded our heart, our eyes, our ears, but number two, just pulled it out into the light, right? Like I said it a few minutes ago, like the greatest thing that you can do in your walk with Jesus and in just like your growing your relationship is to continuously pull stuff into the light. If something feels weird, pull it into the light. If something feels off, pull it into the light, right? Like, the light is what makes the darkness lose its power completely and fully. So when you're having these weird thoughts, these weird feelings of jealousy, comparison, anger, bitterness, rage, lust, addiction, whatever it is for you, if you'll just pull it into the light and say, hey, as for me, as for Brady, I'm going to guard myself well, and I'm going to pull everything out that doesn't feel right? Like, I'm going to take account of everything that's coming in so I can make sure that my eyes, that my ears, that my heart stay as pure as they can, and that my character doesn't shift because I let something come in that I probably should have stopped at the door and been like, no, not here. And the way that I think about it, like I've said before, I'm a very practical person. I like steps. Like, tell me 1, 2, 3, I need to do this, right? And the way that I think about it is like my house, like my body, my heart, my brain, my mind, all of this is my house, right? And what would and what wouldn't I let come through my front door, right? What would I stop at the front door and say, hey, you can't be here. I'm sorry, you can't be here. You need to turn around. You need to leave. Like, what are some things, that's a question you can ask yourself. What are some things that you would stop at the front door and you would say, hey, you're not allowed in my house because you're going to track dirt in. You're not going to treat my things nicely, right? I'm not going to let you into my safest space. Like, all of these questions, what would you stop at the front door? And for me personally, like, this one is kind of silly, but I cannot watch like intense, scary, but like intense movies right before I go to sleep. I will have scary dreams. I will be worked up. Like, I don't know. I just can't do it right now in this season of life, which is so funny because I used to listen to true crime as like white noise, but then I found myself being super anxious. Like, I couldn't even go to the grocery store without being like, what was that? Who is that? I think they're looking at me. Is someone going to kidnap me? Is someone going to steal me? I, for a season of my life, lived with Easton's grandparents, and that was when I was like super into true crime. Like, oh my gosh, I listened to it every day, multiple times a day. It was a white noise. Like, I just found it so interesting, which is terrible, but like, whatever. And I have this story that I just remember so vividly. Nana and Papa, Easton's grandparents, that's what we call them, had gone out of town on a vacation, and I was staying at their house by myself, and I was at the house with Kingston, which is their dog. And it was nighttime, And I could feel myself getting a little nervous, but I prayed. I was like, God, protect me, right? Locked all the doors, made sure they were locked like 4 or 5 times, right? And I remember I could not go to sleep, and I was so anxious. I had convinced myself, like fully convinced myself that there was somebody outside and they were trying to get in to the house to kill me. And it was crazy. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I call Easton and I'm like, I know you're asleep. I need you to wake up. I need you to come drive around Nana and Papa's house and make sure there's nobody outside. And he was like, Brady, like, I love you. We were still dating. I love you. You're okay. Like, it's 2:00. I'm not going to leave the house and come drive around. And I was relentless. I was like, you're going to do it. You're going to come and drive around, or else you might not see me tomorrow because someone is outside trying to get me in, right? And he is so sweet and wonderful that he eventually left his house, came, because Nana and Papa's house is like 5 minutes down the road, and from his parents' house. And he left his house, drove around the entire house, and he was like, Brady, there's no one here. I promise. I looked at every window, every door. You're safe. And even in that moment, there was still something in me that didn't really believe him, because I had let so much junk into my wells. I had let so much that, like, there was this anxiety that just sat on me. And for a lot of us, I feel like we're letting so much stuff into our life, into our hearts, into our minds, and it's just sitting on us. And that was silly. Like, it may not be true crime for you, but maybe you don't need to be listening to some music that you're listening to all the time. And I know that is such a basic, like, Christianese, like, what are you listening to? Oh my gosh, what are you letting in? But like, maybe it's, you don't need to hang around a certain group of friends, because every single time you hang out with that one group of friends, you end up doing something that you know you're not supposed to do, that you know is not good for you. You end up texting that girl back, texting that guy back. You end up drinking again, smoking again, partying again. Maybe you just end up feeling so bad about yourself because when you're with that group of friends, all y'all do is consistently negatively critique yourselves, talk about yourself. Or there's passive aggressive remarks, backhanded remarks where you're like, well, I would, and you, and I would have never, and I can't believe, and did you see she? And maybe you're just letting all this negative stuff grow in your heart and grow in your mind. Maybe you don't need, and I'm talking to myself too, maybe you need to unfollow some influencers and some people on Instagram and TikTok, because every single time they're posting something, you're clicking the link and you're seeing that you can't afford to buy that, and you're instantly like, oh, I'll never be there. I could never do that. And you're thinking down on yourself, and you're not able to see the goodness of God in your life because you're comparing your life to someone else's life who you don't even know what's going on in their life, right? You have no idea. They're behind a screen. You cannot compare yourself to them, right? But you're letting all of that jealousy and that comparison like sit idle in your heart, and you're not pulling it out. And friends, we just have to guard our wells a little bit better. I feel like that could save us so much energy trying to figure out how to do life on our own if we would just guard our hearts, our minds, our ears, our eyes a little bit better, and not let so much negative, sad, frustrated, angry stuff come and sit idle in our hearts, right? And I know there's a lot of harder things, more sensitive things, if you will, that you have to guard your heart and your mind to. For some of us, it's family. Sometimes it's so hard to be around your family because at like holidays or any type of family gathering, because it's like they just don't think the same way that I do. They don't have the same heart the way that I do. They don't believe the same way that I do. And maybe every time you get around your family, it's just like this draining feeling, this frustrating, this anger, this anxiety, this nervousness. And can I tell you, before you walk into those rooms, you're allowed to guard your heart. You're allowed to guard your mind and your eyes, and you say, hey, okay, I'm about to walk into a room and I know it's going to be difficult, but as for me and myself right now, I'm going to guard every single word that comes at me, every single interaction that comes at me. And can I tell you, that's going to save you a lot of offense. If you just guard your wells a little bit more, that will save you so much offense. I found myself a couple of weeks ago, friends, not guarding my wells well. And can I tell you, I was getting so offended. I was getting offended at my husband. I was getting offended at my friends, at my coworkers. I was like, what is wrong with these people? But then I had to look inward and be like, oh, okay. Well, I'm letting words be way bigger than they need to be. I'm blowing up situations way more than they need to be, when all I really needed to do was sit down and be like, I've got to guard myself a little bit better on what comes in and what goes out. And I know that some of us listening, we're all in different seasons of life, right? Some of us are in college. Some of us have children and are married and have a mortgage. Some of us are single and living our best young adult life. Some of us are in junior high. I know we're all in different areas of life, going through different things, carrying different things. But can I tell you, the best piece of advice that I could give you in whatever season of life you're in right now is just to guard what comes in. Guard what comes in your heart. Guard what comes in your mind. Guard what you see. Guard what you hear. Just take account of everything right before it comes in and say, is this going to benefit me or is this going to hurt me in the long run? Is this a thought that I need to stop and say, hey, where did you come from? Why am I feeling this way? Why are you doing this, right? Like, just take account of every single thing that comes in to your heart and into your mind and into your ears. And there's a story that Pastor Tristan tells all the time when he talks about, above all else, guard your heart. Back in the Bible days when they were like fighting and war and all that is going on, right? And they were trying to take over towns and cities and capture and conquer. One of the things that they would do to wipe out towns is, so say there was a town right here and this enemy was coming in I don't know if I'm doing a good job at explaining this, guys, but hang with me. So there's a town right here and these enemy bad people want to come in and take over this town, right? What they would do is at nighttime they would sneak in and they would poison their well, because back in the biblical times, right, there would be a well where they would retrieve their water from. And everyone in the city, everyone in that town would drink from that well. And so in order to wipe out that town, they would go and poison their well. They would put in dead animals, dead people, I think, too. I can't remember if he said people or animals, so that feels very drastic. So we're going to go with animals. They would put in dead animals, right? And it would poison the well, and the water that those people would drink, it would make them sick, and some of the people would die, right? Because they knew how powerful that well was. And if we only understand that translates to us too, what we see, what we listen to, what we hear, all of it is so powerful. And so the enemy wants to get you. The Bible tells us, the true word of God says that the enemy is here to kill, steal, and destroy. If you think that he's not trying to get you every single day, you've got another thing coming for you. He is trying to come at you. And let me tell you, he's going to try to come through your wells, through your eyes, through your ears, through your heart, through your mind. And if he can just put something small in there, and you think, oh, it's not that big of a deal, but it sits and it becomes dormant and it becomes idle, it can poison your whole entire well. And so that's why I think it is so important. Proverbs, let me make sure I'm saying it right to you guys again. Proverbs 4:23, above all else, guard your heart. That's what the Bible says. But I'm going to go ahead and say, above all else, guard everything that comes in, because everything you do flows from your heart. The way that you treat people, the way that you see people, the way that you see situations, the way that you grow in your relationship with the Lord, everything flows from your heart, from one of your wells. So it is so important to guard it with everything that you have. Another part of that story that's so important is these people in the city are drinking from this well, right? And people drink from our well too, in the same way. The way that we pour into people, the way that we love people, the way that we treat people, our friendships, our relationships, our spouses, our siblings, right? If our wells are tainted and they're coming to this well to receive love and wisdom and care, and we're tainted, the way that we treat them is going to be affected, right? It's not going to be who we really are, because something's going on in our heart and our mind that we haven't pulled out and said, hey, whoa. I'm sorry. I don't know what's going on, right? And I can speak from a place, because a few weeks ago, Easton sat me down, was like, hey girl, like, are you okay? What's going on? You're really negative right now. You're really not having any patience with me. You're really being unkind to me. And that's embarrassing to say, but like, it's true. He had to sit me down and be like, something is off. Something is wrong. What have you let in your heart and in your mind that you're not pulling out into the light? Number one, people that do that are such a gift, right? But number two, if someone sits you down and says, hey, something's not right, don't be offended by that. Look inward and say, what have I let into my heart and into my life that sat for too long that I need to pull out? What do I need to take account of, right? So if I can sum all of this up, I've said a lot of words. Above all else, guard everything that comes into your heart and into your mind, because everything that you do flows from your heart, and we need to make sure that our wells are guarded. It's so important. It's so crucial. In whatever stage of life you're in, do it. So this is to the person who needs to guard your wells. Number one, you're not alone. Literally 2 weeks ago, I wasn't doing it, so don't feel bad. And thank God that every single day, the Lord has new mercy for us. And that's something I've been holding on to too. New mercies every day, new mercies every moment, new mercies every week. So just try again. Try again. If you haven't been guarding your wells good, try again tomorrow. And if you do it bad tomorrow, try again the next day, because I promise you will be so thankful that you did. You will love your life so much more. You will see the goodness of the Lord. You will see the joy in everyday life. So just like Brent Young said, junk in, junk out, good in, good out. And I think that's where we're going to end it today. Love y'all. Bye.